Hi everyone, and welcome into our live stream here on CBS19 Plus, also our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. Appreciate you all tuning in tonight. I'll give maybe a minute or so for a couple of folks to join on the Facebook page. We'll try to interact as much as possible, give you some answers if you have any questions. But right now what we're tracking is not much. It's pretty quiet out there. There might be some light rain showers up to the north, perhaps around the Red River. Up here you can see there are quite a few thunderstorms over toward Idabel, up toward Mina, north of Paris. All of this is north of the Red River. This is where the best support for any type of severe weather would be tonight. So it looks like for the most part we're going to have a quiet evening down here in most of East Texas. Again, if we have much that goes on, it's going to be north of the Red River, up here closer to Idabel, moving into southwestern parts of Arkansas. In fact, it may even stay a little north of Texarkana. You can see the way these showers moving through Paris right now. Some light rain. There is a pretty good thunderstorm coming across Interstate 35 approaching Sherman. But even at that, its trajectory takes it across the Red River and into southern Oklahoma within the next, say, hour or so. So that's what we have going on right now on the radar. I'm going to come on down here into East Texas. Pretty quiet. I do want to show you another area that has seen a little more activity up here to the north in western Arkansas, northwest Arkansas, from Fort Smith over toward Russellville, toward Wooster and Little Rock. This area here has seen heavy rainfall, some flash flood warnings in these areas in purple. So that's where the bulk of this storm has gone tonight. This is where the best dynamics were all day long. This is also the area that the Storm Prediction Center placed earlier in the day into a 10% chance for a tornado. So it's a potent storm north of East Texas. That's pretty good for everyone. All right, welcome in everybody. We got quite a few viewers and appreciate your time. Also on our Facebook channel and on the YouTube page. As we go through the next few hours, I'll just kind of take you through what's going on. Current watches, we do have a tornado watch in yellow. That includes McAllister in Pittsburgh County in southern Oklahoma. And then Fort Smith and along Interstate 40 all the way over to Little Rock. This is until 10 o'clock. Then you have a severe thunderstorm watch right along the Red River counties, all the way through Texarkana and into southwestern Arkansas. That's also in effect until 10 o'clock. Just checked with the Storm Prediction Center. There are no discussions right now to add anything south of that, so that's really good. I still think, primarily looking at some of the data that we're looking at and the frontal boundary moving into the south, we may not see anything develop here in East Texas until 3 a.m. at the earliest, 6 a.m. at the latest. So it could be much later into the night. As we looked at that data today, started pushing back that initiation time for those showers and thunderstorms. Of course, I know that's great news for you guys because everyone wants to sleep without worrying about overnight thunderstorms. And I think that's certainly the case here as we can rest easy. Then maybe up to the north, closer to Interstate 30, if you live in Sulphur Springs or Mount Pleasant or over toward Linden, you start hearing some rumbles in that 3, 4 o'clock time frame. In Athens, Tyler, Longview, and Henderson, it may not be till 5 or even 6 o'clock in the morning. Area of low pressure, this has been the main driver for the storm, and it is lifting north and east, so you can see the heaviest storms here, dragging that cold front, which is currently just past Abilene, toward East Texas. So as this low churns and moves northeastward, drags this front through here, we'll see the cooler air collide with the warm, buoyant, humid air here. You need something to lift the air. Right now in East Texas, it's just sort of sitting there nice and calm, undisturbed, so it needs a little nudger, and that nudge could come from this front, and once it gets the initiation point, gets the air rising, then showers and thunderstorms will form. But again, that does not look like it's going to be until much later. As I said, 1 a.m., you can still see some showers, thunderstorms up toward Texarkana, along Interstate 30, maybe a shower at Mount Pleasant. We're already seeing some light rain toward Paris, so certainly between now and 1 a.m., there shouldn't be much going on here. Looking into the 4, 5, 7 o'clock time frame, now we start to see some showers forming. So the frontal boundary, if you follow the streamlines, in the next 6 hours, the frontal boundary just kind of eases its way down here to around Canton or Mineola, Gilmer, and Jefferson. By the way, this is high-resolution data that we get from our vendor that provides the maps for us, and they have put in some machine learning into this computer model. So over the last few months, the accuracy of this computer model has improved by 20%. That's a huge jump when you're forecasting weather and using a piece of guidance, a computer model that can't think on its own. Of course, it's driven by what the data that's fed into it. But because it is using some artificial intelligence to sort of learn from the past mistakes, and the programmers and coders putting some other information into that, this has really come to be and continues to improve and evolve as a really useful piece of technology. So you looked at that again. If I don't know if I can go back on that, maybe I'll just go back a graphic so we can see this kind of all play out here. But what essentially happened was this storm system itself. Watch what happens here. We have light rain showers. We get to 7 a.m. Still pretty quiet between 7, 8, 9. As the frontal boundary now pushes southward, we get a little bit of warmth, a little bit more upper level support. Now the showers and thunderstorms, really it may be the main show comes in between 7 a.m. and noon tomorrow with heavy rainfall. I am concerned about flash flooding with up to 3 inches of rainfall falling in a short period of time. Yeah, there'll probably be some gusty winds along with these, maybe a little bit of hail, but it's more wind and then rain driven. The dynamics with this system, there's just isolated little pockets where we have enough turning in the atmosphere to maybe make a cell rotate that would produce some gustier winds. By 3:30, this is over. We are done, and we start to look forward to some less humid air, northwesterly winds, and look at the temperatures Thursday morning into the low to mid 60s. Thursday afternoon, we're in the low 80s with sunshine. How nice is that? And then the storm timeline, I'll run this out for you. So now to 5 a.m., I think it's quiet. I think we're good to go overnight. I do not anticipate any watches or warnings or anything issued overnight. We get past 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Now we start to see showers, thunderstorms forming. I put in some thunderstorms to denote the fact that we could have some gusty winds close to 60 miles an hour. It's probably more like 45 or 50. But this heavy rain, up to 3 inches of rainfall, certainly could create some isolated flash flooding. Once we get into the afternoon, cooler temperatures, less humid air, and very nice. All right, take a look at the rain, and this is why we have some concerns. The frontal boundary moves into this very buoyant air. If you were outside today, you know how humid it is, right? So you have all this juice in the atmosphere. You have the frontal boundary that essentially stalls here where the red area is. And so if you pick out where you live, say Carthage, for instance, and you look here, you're in this purple, you come over here to the legend, you're looking at 1.5 to 1 3/4 of an inch potentially of rainfall. Gilmer, Longview, Henderson, southeastern parts of Smith County, northern Cherokee County toward Jacksonville down to Palestine. The dark purples, reds, 2.5 to 3 inches of rainfall. And again, this falls in a short period of time. So flash flooding is our big main concern with all of this, I think, for the most part tomorrow. I'm not really worried about tornadoes, but really heavy rain and gusty thunderstorms tomorrow. And just going over that, isolated power outages will also be possible. Water on or over roadways, think about that. I mean, you can be driving along and there is water on the roadway, some ponding or puddling, but then sometimes the water can, especially in areas where you might be at the bottom of the hill, the water may run over the roadway. So that can cause you or create some hydroplaning, so please be careful with that. And then brief damaging wind gusts would also be possible. All right, so that's our update here this evening. One more thing to leave you with. Look at the drop in humidity once we get past tomorrow. It feels fantastic through the weekend. We're talking about some humidity values that would be on the comfortable side. By the way, eye on the tropics out there, a couple of systems that they're watching out here toward the Leeward Islands and another one a little farther west than that. Both of these have a very high probability of development in the next several days. So we'll keep an eye on that and have an update on that on CBS 19 News at 10 o'clock. Anyway, one more look at the radar. I'll check for messages, questions, and any comments or concerns. Please leave those on the Facebook page. In the meantime, I appreciate you all taking your time out here to watch us on our CBS 19 stream and on our YouTube channel. We will be on with an update on CBS 19 at 10 o'clock and, of course, streaming on CBS 19 Plus. Until then, have a great evening and be safe.